Today we will talk about the incredible Spitfire, features, technical specifications, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Welcome aboard, and thanks for watching. In the late 1930s, a shadow was growing over Europe. With the Nazi threat approaching, the United Kingdom knew it needed something revolutionary in the skies. That's when the Supermarine Spitfire emerged, conceived by R.J. Mitchell. Unlike anything that had flown before, the Spitfire featured elegant lines and elliptical wings designed not just for beauty, but for performance. Powered by the Rolls-Royce Merlin engine, it promised speed, agility, and firepower. Initially, many doubted its practicality, calling it expensive and complex. But early test flights showed the Spitfire was not just a machine, it was a promise. In that moment, an icon was born, one that would not only defend British skies, but also become a symbol of resistance and hope in wartime. It was the beginning of a legend that would live on long after World War II. The Spitfire's first flight took place on March 5th, 1936, piloted by Mutt Summers. Upon landing, he famously said, "Don't change anything." His words echoed among engineers who recognized a rare gem. However, transforming the prototype into a production aircraft proved difficult. Its complex fuselage required precision, and British industry was still adapting to modern demands. The government ordered hundreds, but delays accumulated. Even so, test pilots and engineers persisted, convinced the Spitfire was special. As Messerschmitts dominated the skies of Germany, Britain placed its hopes in this gleaming aluminum fighter. The Spitfire was fast, but its true weapon was maneuverability. As the winds of war blew stronger, the RAF knew it would need it. Silently in the hangars, the Spitfire awaited its moment to prove its worth. In 1940, the Luftwaffe launched a relentless campaign against England. It was the Battle of Britain. The skies became a battleground, and the Spitfire met its destiny. Alongside the sturdier Hawker Hurricane, the Spitfire dueled the feared Messerschmitt Bf 109. Many British pilots, still young, faced terrifying odds, but the Spitfire responded like few others. Its lightness and quick response allowed tight turns, dodging bullets and striking back with precision. The nation watched, fearing each siren, but trusting the graceful silhouette of the Spitfire above. Churchill immortalized a moment. Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. The RAF, with the Spitfire leading, changed the war's course in the air. It was more than a plane. It was hope with wings, facing aerial terror with courage, steel, and an engine roar that became a symbol of freedom. At the heart of the Spitfire was the Rolls-Royce Merlin, a liquid-cooled V-12 engine capable of pushing the aircraft over 360 miles per hour, 580 kilometers per hour. With it, the Spitfire climbed fast, accelerated fiercely, and ruled the mid-altitudes where dogfights raged. Its cooling system and advanced aerodynamics enabled stable flight and tight maneuvering. The elliptical wings weren't just beautiful. They reduced drag and distributed lift more efficiently. Armaments varied, from Browning machine guns to 20mm Hispano cannons. Maintenance was demanding, but ground crews treated the plane like a gem, caring for every rivet. The Spitfire was an engineering marvel, where form and function met in harmony. Not just efficient, it was elegant in combat, a silent predator, crafted with the precision of a musical instrument. Throughout the war, the Spitfire underwent dozens of versions. Each new threat or combat theater called for upgrades, more powerful engines, reinforced wings, different weapons. The MKV version proved crucial in North Africa. The Mk9, with a Merlin 61 engine, matched the advanced Focke-Wulf FW190. There were also photo reconnaissance variants, stripped of weapons for speed and range. Even the landing gear and wheel designs evolved to handle rough runways. Some were navalized into Seafires to operate from aircraft carriers. No other World War II fighter saw so many variants. Each modification had one goal: to maintain air superiority. The Spitfire was never static. It was a living organism, evolving with war, shaped by urgency and the brilliance of its engineers. Flying a Spitfire was a visceral experience. Sitting in its narrow cockpit, gripping the stick, and hearing the Merlin roar was to become one with the machine. Pilots described the controls as extensions of their own body. Light and responsive, the Spitfire reacted to every command with immediate precision. It was like riding lightning, dangerous yet glorious. Young British, Canadian, Polish, and Czech pilots earned their wings in it, facing seasoned foes with bravery. The bond between pilot and aircraft was intimate. The pilot trusted the Spitfire to save him. The aircraft only showed its full potential in respectful hands. In intense dogfights, this union often determined who made a home. That trust was mutual, forged in sweat, training in the engine's thunder. The Spitfire never flew alone, always carried the pilot's spirit. Though forever linked to the Battle of Britain, the Spitfire flew in many skies. It served in North Africa, braving sandstorms and heat. Over the Mediterranean, it flew from island airstrips, supporting Allied forces. In Burma, it adapted to tropical conditions. It soared above Italy, France, Belgium, and the Netherlands. Each theater posed new challenges, but the Spitfire adapted. It was the air's chameleon. In reconnaissance, it spied enemy lines undetected. In escorts, it shielded bombers from German fighters. As a Seafire, it operated from carriers across the Pacific. Its presence was a reminder of British persistence. Wherever freedom was fought for, the Spitfire was there. Even when more modern aircraft appeared, like the P-51 Mustang, the Spitfire remained vital. Its versatility kept it flying until the war's end. A warrior that never refused battle. With World War II over, the Spitfire lost its frontline status. Jets were taking over, and propeller-driven fighters were becoming outdated. Still, the Spitfire wasn't forgotten. Many air forces continued to use it for years. Some fought in smaller post-war conflicts. Others became training aircraft. Many were sold off, others scrapped. Yet some were saved and restored, preserved as historical icons. Museums proudly displayed them. Enthusiasts collected parts, rebuilt airframes, and brought them back to life. The Spitfire became a living relic. Its sound still echoes at air shows, where veterans and youth alike applaud its grace. It wasn't just a fighter. It was the memory of a generation who gave everything. It survived war and oblivion, a ghost of the clouds with steel wings and an immortal soul. The Spitfire transcended its role. It wasn't just a weapon, but a national symbol. It represented an island under siege, the bravery of its pilots, and the genius of its engineers. It became art, print, model, song. In films, documentaries, and books, its silhouette still inspires. Its legacy is studied in military academies as a model of effective design. It's a reference for aeronautical engineers and a symbol of courage for historians. In parades, it flies as a tribute to sacrifice. No other aircraft embodies aesthetics and performance so perfectly. The Spitfire survived the decades because it carried more than metal and fuel. It carried history, a piece of the 20th century shaped in aluminum and courage. Those who saw it fly never forgot. Those who study it are still amazed. Its legacy is immortal, built on sweat, tears, and the unshakable desire for freedom. Today, more than 80 years after its first flight, dozens of Spitfires still soar in historic displays, maintained by devoted restorers. Every detail is true to the original. When they fly, the crowds fall silent. It's as if the past materializes. Many veterans, now centenarians, still tear up at the sound of the Merlin. It's more than nostalgia, it's gratitude. The Spitfire reminds us that freedom is costly, but worth it. It belongs not just to the British, but to all who fought for a free world. It is an emblem of humanity at its finest. As long as its story is told, the Spitfire will live on, and when it no longer graces the skies, it will endure in hearts, books, and dreams. For some planes fly, and some make history. The Spitfire did both, and still flies strong in the memory of time.